Hi, everyone. My name's Megan Lunde. I'm a solutions consultant at Amperity. Excited to be joined by Abhi Vyas today and talk a little bit about the future of digital and media. For those of you who don't know Amperity, we are the leading customer data platform for consumer brands, and we help brands accelerate growth by using machine learning to help you build accurate, comprehensive customer profiles. And my role is really to help brands take the massive amount of messy data that you have on all of your customers and kind of spin that into the customer insights and marketing gold. I'm thrilled to be joined by Abhi today to talk about the future of digital and media. And we're really lucky to have Abhi with us. He's a real visionary in this area. He's the head of digital marketing, personalization, and lead gen over at Verizon, Verizon Wireless. And there he uses innovative web media intelligence, analytics, and behavioral targeting to execute disruptive marketing strategies. I think this is really cool. Abhi's an adjunct instructor of mobile marketing here in the Dallas area at Southern Methodist, and previously held marketing and management roles at Dex YP and Metro Media. So welcome, Abhi.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, glad to be part of the conversation, Megan.
Yeah, thank you. So again, we're here to talk about the future of digital and media. And we've had a ton of fun preparing for this session and kind of sharing our thoughts and ideas in this area. And one of the areas where we spent a lot of time was talking about recent developments. And so I think a great place to start would be to get a sense of kind of the current state of digital and media. So Abhi, what's your kind of take on digital media today?
Well, I mean, let me be very candid with you. I mean, the state is not good. It's not rosy, and the future is very grim. And we all know about, what the cookies happening, the privacy things and all. And I mean, if you look at it for last 20 years, we have built a complex ad stack, for targeting customers, using our, private data. And for last, 5 years, there has been a lot of concern about, privacy, and all customers and consumers are like kind of yelling back, hey, this is my digital currency. You have no right to use. So I think, we really have to reinvent, how the entire digital advertising and the media ecosystem works. Because, I mean, ad tech is roughly around $350 billion industry in US. And folks, even in the ad tech, they don't even know how things work. I mean, so it's like the system is like so complex. And now, we have brands like, Apple, who's coming and, telling enough is enough. And again, we have to question, what Apple is really trying to do. And everything comes back to, data, which we have been talking about, and privacy, all consumers have been asking. And literally, our digital currency, which is our data, has been sold, resold, aggregated for last 20 years. And I think, as consumers, we are saying like enough is enough. And now, we have to really think, what's the future?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think privacy is, to me, it's the word that's going to define kind of the coming decade here. And especially kind of pertinent is who is defining privacy, right? So in the current state, this is being kind of defined both by kind of government as well as private companies. So kind of what's your take there? And how do you see that evolving?
Yeah, I mean, private. I mean, look at Apple. I mean, according to Apple, if it's on device, it's private. But if it leaves the device, it goes in the cloud, it's public. So now, I mean, and Apple was really, kind of, taken to challenge when, I think last month or so when they announced that, they will be scanning the photos on your iPhone for, child CSAM, which is child sexually abusive material, right? And again, the interest was good. They want to protect and all. But again, consumers, there were two groups. One said, okay, go ahead, do it. Another group said, wait, it's my phone, my device. You have no right to scan it, right? But Apple has been scanning your, emails in the cloud, for almost like 5-6 years, and nobody knew that. And now we know that, well, okay, hang on. So it left my device, it went in the cloud. So again, to answer your question, Megan, I mean, who decides what is private and what is public? Are these big corporations like, Apple and Google, do they have the right to decide, okay, for consumers, this is private and if this is public? Same thing happened with, when, Google was trying to build its Flock, right? And they had to push the Flock for 2 years now. It's going to be 2023. which is great, for advertisers and marketers just to kind of regroup and see, how everything will evolve. But I think, the corporations have no right to decide, what is private and what is public. And we have seen, government step in. We see the GDPR come in. We have seen, CCPA come in, and all these, regulations are coming in. But I think, time will tell. But as consumers, and especially ad tech, they have to do something about it, Megan. And again, I think marketers are to blame too. For last 20 years, like we are so much focused on, clicks, and upper funnel, middle funnel, right? The whole, MarTech is just focused on that, and we were all focused on like buying impressions. And I think in that flow, we kind of lost the creativity. So marketing is not about buying impressions; it's about creating impressions. I think that's why we have to do is putting that creativity back into the marketing. I think our previous panel on Pizza Hut, they were talking about how can you be creative, bringing those experiences to the customers, truly engaging. Forget about the upper funnel, middle funnel, lower funnel. Let's get back the true engagement for the customers.
Yeah, I've sensed that theme come through a lot in both Pizza Hut and the 7-Eleven panel that we heard earlier, that kind of need to create those kind of engaging experiences and bring that creativity back. So I guess we'll shift gears a little bit. I mean, we've talked a little bit about kind of the doom and gloom of how uncertain everything is right now. But I guess it'd be great to talk a little bit about some areas where we're seeing that creative innovation coming to life and platforms of opportunity. What do you see in that regard?
Well, I think, again, we were talking about it, TikTok. I think that has really come up as, one of the most, UGC, user-generated content, and it's really taken everybody by surprise. And I think last month, TikTok dethroned YouTube on Android platform as the most watched. So I think that shows that, okay, the eyeballs are going there, customers are going there. And TikTok is not just, just a platform. It has also evolved into a shoppable platform. And what I see is that, the future of e-commerce would be shoppable UGC, which will be powered by platforms like TikTok. So, live streaming, that's a great concept, which has really picked up in, I would say, last 2 years in US. It's very popular in China. Everybody loves live streaming. Think about QVC, but similar to QVC, we bring it live streaming, and you can do shopping, live streaming combined together on TikTok. So I think Walmart tried that earlier in December, and it was so successful. So they did it again in March. So it works, and I think especially beauty, travel, retail, all these industries are really leveraging TikTok to their fullest advantage. So I think TikTok as a new channel is really great for marketers.
Yeah, and I think I want to kind of go back to one of the things you pointed out there is that TikTok has overtaken YouTube on certain platforms in terms of hours watched and kind of the engagement from the folks who are using that. So I know we were hoping to set up a poll. I don't think we did that, but would love to hear maybe
that's a good
from
question.
Our audience.
Yeah.
If you want to put in the chat, have you ever bought anything based on something you've seen on TikTok or shopped on the TikTok platform, or more broadly based on some kind of live streaming or metaverse platform? Would love to kind of see what interactions folks on the listening in have had with that.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Let's poll it and see. These are the marketers. Are we really buying, right?
Okay, great. It looks like the poll is up, and we have a couple of folks coming in saying way too often, and I think that's going to.
Nice.
Yeah, go ahead, Abhi.
And I think, if you follow TikTok, there is a hashtag, TikTok made me buy it. Mm-hmm. And if you follow that, it's got almost 5 billion impressions. So, mm-hmm. So it's really, it's like, another platform where people are buying, and it's really, very, very popular.
So question that's come in is, how can brands kind of start to take advantage of these newer platforms that are, growing really quickly, but in some ways are can have the perception of being untested?
Again, be authentic. I think that's the key. Again, be authentic, be real. So why did TikTok come? Because it presented raw, unfiltered videos, and that's what consumers like. anybody can become a TikToker, and you don't need like studios, and you don't need fancy equipment for recording. Your iPhone does wonderful recording. So just be authentic, be real, and if you have the content which is engaging and appealing, that's the key to kind of embark your journey on TikTok or any social media platform.
Yeah, I think another kind of platform that or area that we were talking about was kind of the metaverse as well, and specifically thinking about things like esports and kind of the large prizes that are associated with that. Can you chat with us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, if you look at metaverse, Roblox, Fortnite, I'm pretty sure our audience, has played, or their kids have played. They know what it is. So it's no longer D2C, which we say, direct to consumer. It's now D2A, which is direct to avatar. So what is your avatar on Roblox, right? Or, what is your avatar on Fortnite? I mean, we had, 2 years ago, Travis Scott, his avatar performed in Fortnite. He had 13, 14 million viewers. So, and if another thing, Vans performed, and they created actually like a stadium, where you can come, like a skateboarding stadium. So you can play virtually. And if you talk to any, I would say the younger Gen Z, the time they spent is mostly on these metaverse universes, which is Roblox and Fortnite. And 90% of your Gen Z have played some kind of metaverse environment. And a funny story, if you talk about metaverse, I mean, this thing was kind of started in 1993. If you remember, the sci-fi movie, I think it was called Snow Crash. Yeah. So Neil Stephenson, kind of talked about it. And then here we are, Facebook CEO Mark, he talks about metaverse is real. And his goal is to connect your online, digital, and virtual environments all into one. And we have all seen, personally, what I would like to see that, okay, what I've created in Minecraft, can I transport that into, let's say, Roblox? That would be that, connecting environment, that how, what you're creating in one platform can just come into the second platform. But I mean, it's here to stay. And I think it's really, challenged, or I would say, charged by blockchain technology. And we've all seen the NFTs, the rise of NFTs, especially in the art and gaming sector. So that's also, another area to look at.
Yeah, a lot of emerging technologies kind of that represent a lot of opportunity right now. Question came in from someone in the one of our listeners that I want to share with you. Kind of related around what surprised you. Is there a prediction you made a couple of years ago that and kind of the outcome has surprised you, and how can we take any kind of learnings from that forward as we kind of work with these emerging technologies?
Yeah, so I think what we were thinking initially, that rise of mobile commerce would have a longer window. But what happened, when the pandemic, the mobile commerce, the share of mobile commerce as a part of total e-commerce, it reached 45%, which is pretty high. And we were expecting that the mobile commerce share would take a couple of more years. But just because of the pandemic and things were closed and people were on their smartphones, and everybody invested in digital transformation, all the brands. So it really, the share of mobile commerce peaked very quickly, faster than what I had expected, and analysts had expected too. I think that was something which you were all taken by surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great learning there. I would love to see if we can share kind of the results of the poll that we put up a couple minutes ago. So Brand Innovators team, are you able to kind of publish those results so we can talk a little bit about what folks' behavior has been?
Yeah, I would be curious to see, how many people have actually shopped on a live stream event on a.
Yeah, and I know in the chat we saw some comments of folks saying, way too often, or a lot of purchases have been kind of influenced from that. And if I'm looking, I just saw the results come up, and it looks like about 40% of folks have said, yeah, they've actually bought something based on kind of a live stream on TikTok or a different channel.
That speaks to the emerging platform, right? It works, right?
Yeah, and I think the other element of that stands out to me is that we can't just dismiss these platforms as being for Gen Z or for a small niche of our population, right? These are, we're all being, even if we're not maybe directly in the metaverse, because of all of kind of their surround sound and how important it's becoming and how much press it's getting, there's that secondhand knock-on effect too, that even if you aren't part of that live stream, you hear about it and that influences you as well.
Absolutely, yes. And I mean, you're talking about metaverse again, like Gucci, the bag sold for a higher value than what actually it sells in retail when they dropped the Gucci bag in Roblox. I mean, that just speaks, about, how people are like crazy and how much, money is being spent on purchasing V-Bucks by the kids. So, I mean, if you're looking for, so these are like kind of emerging channels. And again, coming back to, why focus on metaverse? Because yes, it is new and marketing always follows where your audience goes, right? So again, this is an emerging platform. This is new, and you can really try, different new things with your and how do you engage customers on this new emerging platforms? And then creativity is something, which will be your competitive advantage. And in metaverse, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, I read something even this morning about a brand that is for their packages going out to influencers, instead of sending them actual product, they're sending them kind of virtual product that they can kind of try on and show in the metaverse. So it's again, kind of that creativity, that authenticity, and meeting customers where they are is you can really see that all coming together in that strategy.
Yep, correct.
Great. Looks like.
So what's your avatar, Megan? What's your avatar?
That's my avatar. Oh, I don't know, but she probably has really cool colored hair, right? Like if you can do whatever you want, you don't have to be bound by the limits of professionalism. You can look pretty cool in the metaverse.
Absolutely. Yep. So
I think we have time for one more question. A question just came in from a someone in the audience that is are we, as marketers lean more into the metaverse, are we encouraging its growth? And is that counter to our kind of social corporate social responsibilities? And how can you kind of balance kind of doing what's right by society with what using it as a lever to grow your brand?
Well, China came pretty heavy on all the gamers, right? They shut down. They said the kids can play games only 3 hours a week, and they just cannot play. So I mean, that's a classic example of hey, if you're the whole let's say the Gen Alpha is spending hours and hours on all these channels and platforms, what do? So as a parent, I think it's your moral responsibility, kind of monitor the time, the usage, and everything. So the corporates, I don't think so. There's a CSR element in this yet. It's more an individual and it's very subjective.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your thoughts on that. And I think I saw Marissa pop up a moment ago to give us the hook here. So I'll just close with saying, Abhi, thanks so much for joining me today, sharing kind of your thoughts here. Had a lot of fun, and Brand Innovators, thanks for putting today together.
Thank you so much. You guys. Thank you, Marissa. Thanks, Megan.
Yeah, thanks to both of you for such a great chat on a topic that we all know is super relevant today. So we really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Marissa.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Next up on our virtual stage is a company that drives more than their fair share of innovation. We obviously all know PepsiCo makes our favorite beverages, but they're doing so much more these days with partnerships like the one they have with the big game. And they have plenty of brands under their umbrella, of course, like Ruffles. And I actually have my personal favorite here, the jalapeno ranch, which is so delicious. That'll be my snack here shortly. But with that said, let's bring Courtney Larson